Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another Nacho Tuesday. And today I have Andrada here with Amplify Growth. And without further ado, we would love if you can introduce yourself and your company.
Hey, hi, I'm Andrada, and we do lead generation. We basically generate pipeline for SaaS companies through social selling, real conversations with real people that want to talk to you. And then our clients go on and close them. We keep their calendar full. I basically call it lead generation on autopilot.
Great. And what led you to start this company? What was your background before it?
So I started in marketing. I'm one of those people that studied marketing, and now I practice it as well. So yeah, I started this company a few years ago before I owned a social media company, and I went from content marketing to doing lead generation because I really genuinely think that this is the future of marketing, and especially in SaaS.
Why do you believe that to be so? Based on your prior experience, what kind of led you to that conclusion?
So like what I do, social selling. There's no real budget for ads, and I think those days where you actually have to pay to play are gone, especially for SaaS, because there's a lot of competition, and it's quite challenging to target the exact ICP that you need, right? And like the algorithm, yes, it can target like different job titles, but unless you have something like a Facebook group where there's SaaS founders or VP of sales inside, it's quite challenging to feed your solution to those key decision makers. So what I'm trying to say is that there's a huge risk of burning money when you go via paid. Again, depending on your solutions, I'm quite like generic here, but based on my experience, social selling is the way if you want to scale.
Great. Can you explain more to maybe the uninitiated what social selling is and why it's such a big opportunity today?
Yeah. So social selling, in essence, and high quality lead generation takes a lot of energy and time. So the more time you spend prospecting, the less time you have for those actual calls. So what we do is we look at the ICP and we try to segment that based on their pain points, right? And then we write a super compelling sequence that would fit those pain points. So that's why our response rate is quite big, because people feel that they resonate with what we actually say to them. The opportunity is huge because it gives you that spotlight, right? We are fighting for, attention. Everyone is like, that's what sales is. You're fighting for, 2 seconds of someone's time. So when we manage to get that attention on your product, the next step for that lead is to say, yes, I'm interested, or no, I don't want to hear anything about this. So the more you expose your solution to potential buyers, the better close rates you have. Obviously, and I really want to stress this, the product market fit is super important. So again, here I'm talking about companies that have a super good product market fit, because if it sells by itself, social selling will just amplify it.
Yep. Hence the company name, Amplify Growth.
Yeah.
So they got to be ready for growth by the time they work with you. And obviously, product market fit's huge. What about the ICP definition? Do you feel like a lot of companies fail at that, or do you think they fail at the execution stage?
Yeah, great question. I feel that everybody has a good idea of who their ICP is. What I have seen more often is positioning their solution to fit the pain point of the ICP, exactly what I was discussing before. So like, let's take Calendly, for example. They're a meeting automation tool. Everybody knows Calendly. So not a USP would be, hi, we're a great meeting scheduling tool with easy interface. Nobody cares. An actual USP would be no more back and forth emails to book a meeting. One sentence, one pain point, everybody gets it. Then it's about the execution as well. Where do you find these people? And most importantly, how do you contact them? As I told you before, prospecting takes quite a lot of energy and time. So yeah, the more time you spend looking for those leads, the less time you have for the actual calls. So I think, honestly, that teams fail because they do not have a clear strategy around what they should do, or the right tools to do that high quality research before they begin. And then again, the wrong positioning can just make them miss the mark. So to be helpful as well, to do quality research, you just need to know, how to use LinkedIn Sales Navigator if LinkedIn is your channel. Use databases like, I don't know, Zoom Info, Ocean, and so on. There's so many. But also to leverage other tools that extract you information from websites. Somehow it still works. Don't ask me, but basic information, basic email still works. We know that generic email addresses are not as powerful, but sometimes they work better than we expected. Again, it all depends on the ICP and the actual decision makers that you're targeting. Yeah.
Yep. I guess, what are some of the biggest red flags for you when you can identify that a company hasn't figured out what its ICP really is?
When they tell me that cold outreach doesn't work, like, what are you even doing? I mean, if the product market fit is there, it 100% should work. But the first thing I look at is copy. If it's not talking about pain points and solutions, then they didn't really understand their ICP, or they did, but they don't really know how to sell it quite yet.
Yep. Good point. So I guess, how would you translate this ICP understanding into a real growth funnel for sales and marketing teams?
Again, it's about what resonates with ICP, right? Do they want to free up time, save money? Both, ideally both. So don't talk about the solution more than you do about what the solution can actually do for them. I've seen this so many times. So understanding the drivers to buy is actually key. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. A lot of people like to talk more about their features, but not what it does for people actually, and what their actual.
I get it. You're excited. You build something. It's just like, wow, you can like connect to a bot in 5 seconds. You go on my website and you can talk to a real human in 2 seconds. And I'm like,
yep,
cool, but
that's probably the number one problem I see all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess, what metrics matter most early on, and which ones do founders obsess over way too soon?
So when you're below 1 million ARR, I would say you're so one of the things that you should be looking at is qualitative signal intensity. Like, are people saying, I love this, or are they still asking you, is this useful? Very different questions. Then your retention cohorts, how many people are still using your product in week 4 versus week 8? Like, this is the only metric that cannot be gamed. Then time to value, how fast are these people getting value? The shorter, the better activation you have. And then organic pull, are other people talking about your tool? Are they bringing their friends on? This is basically your best signal, word of mouth, referrals, and so on. And then willingness to pay, will they actually pay or use it for free? So these are the things that matter from my point of view. What founders may obsess about way too soon is that MRR milestone. Everyone is chasing the 10K before retention, and it really just creates your churn debt. Then they look at their customer acquisition cost, at lifetime value, which arguably can be meaningless when you're under 100 customers. You just estimate things at that point. Yeah. And then all of the vanity metrics. I got 10,000 signups. Okay, but is that relevant if only 50 people are using your solution? Not really. And then the last one would be very complicated attribution models. You have like 30 customers. You can literally ask them, how they found you. So, early on, you need a few numbers and a lot of customer conversations, I think.
Yep. Yeah. Do the things that don't scale from the beginning. at least initially, so you really understand your customer.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we're doing this, because there's so many other tools, and they can be buying so many other tools. Why would they pick you?
Yeah, exactly. You shouldn't just be basing everything off a spreadsheet. That's what you do when you're at scale. But those early conversations with customers, really understand how they think and feel about your product, and whether they're getting anything out of it.
Yeah, sometimes, you can go into a business thinking that, it is all about the numbers. It is important, but, it's actually very human. People like to buy from humans. And if you listen more than, talk, you maybe find something interesting about your audience. I don't know. I'm just saying.
That's the rule of life.
Yeah, right.
So I guess what usually moves a deal from interested to close one faster? Is it better messaging, better targeting, or better follow-up?
To be honest, I think it really depends on when you're losing the deals. But if I have to rank them, I would say the first one would be better targeting. So if you're talking to the wrong people, no amount of persistence really helps. Signs you have a targeting problem can be lots of oh, this sounds great, but it's not for us. Or long cycles, like super long sales cycles for a product that's not so expensive, that end in no decision. Or then prospects that don't have budgets, authority, or urgency right now. So to fix this, I would say narrow your ICP ruthlessly. 10 perfect fit conversations beat 100 useless ones, obviously.
Yep.
And then I would also look at the better follow-ups. Some deals are lost from neglect, not necessarily rejection. So, some people say that 80% of sales require 5 or more touch points. But most people stop at 2 or 3. They kind of think, oh, I don't want to bother this person. I'm just being very annoying and stuff like that. But there are some signs you can look at if you have a follow-up problem. Your deals go dark in mid-funnel. You'll also get let me think about it quite often. You might not have a systematic re-engagement. So I would structure a follow-up sequence with value adds, not just checking in or bumping this email and stuff like that. And I would say the third one would be better messaging. So the sign when your message is a problem, your perfect ICP, let's say that you have a great, lead list, they don't get your value prop, and they ghost, they don't respond. So that means your message didn't necessarily land. You're actually great on demos, but you lose on cold outreach. That can be due to your messaging if you're absolutely sure your leads are fine. So the thing is, the fix for this one would be in your copy to talk to your customers that actually love your product, or the ones that are actually left, because the gold is in what they say. The ones that left can tell you why they didn't like it, and the ones that love it obviously can give you information about what you can, include in your copy. And I think that's the beauty of marketing, and that's the beauty of social selling, and what we do is that we connect everything, right? So these 3 really compound. So great targeting means that your messaging resonates because it's actually relevant. Good messaging earns you the right to follow up, and persistent follow-up works because you're reaching the right people with the right story at the right time.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. That's definitely going to be a quote for a short clip later.
Oh, cool.
Nice. So I guess what's one thing founders can change this quarter that would immediately improve their close rates?
I'd say listen more on calls than talk.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's something
right now.
Sorry?
Like I'm listening to you right now.
Bless, you're just interviewing me, but yeah, thank you.
Yep.
So I think that's something salespeople need to master, looking more curious than assuming what the lead actually wants.
Yeah, that's true. I think a lot of people in general just kind of assume, what the other side is thinking right away. And that's probably the number one reason why a lot of these.
You know what? And I also feel, sorry to interrupt, but I also feel right now on LinkedIn, a lot of people, it's quite trendy to trash a bad sales pitch. Everyone is posting different screenshots of what they get in their DMs or emails, and it's cringy because they all go on assumptions, and I'm thinking, well, they try, but they assume you have this problem when you actually don't have that problem. So
yeah, the worst now is the AI slops. Too many
Yeah,
people just relying on AI for everything, and you could definitely tell when you're getting those emails.
Yeah, 100%. And then you would expect, for example, from something like this, you can also expect the conversation to be pretty, standard, not necessarily bespoke. And then the proposal that you get can also be like whatever 1,000 people get. So, yeah.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on the use of AI for these types of programs?
I think it's useful. I think you can use, I always say this, like you can leverage AI as long as you know that is doing the right thing. Okay, like, you can use AI to, find some information on that profile that actually makes sense in outreach. I wouldn't necessarily encourage doing that, I don't know, cold blasts on whatever AI is deciding that's best. It's basically leaving your cold outreach out of like someone's in someone else's hands like a robot. And I don't think we're quite there yet. That's why people are just like, oh, I just got flooded this email and it's not for me. Yeah, because people are just like, oh, I want to optimize my time and I want to send 20,000 emails per day, and see how that will go. So yeah, unfortunately, it does more harm than good at the moment.
Yeah, I think so too. There's a level of loss of authenticity there too. The people that see that you're over relying on AI tend to lose trust in your brand.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, there's a lot of that happening. So I guess, what about a strong handoff between marketing and sales? What would that look like in your ideal picture?
Clear context around why we picked that lead for the sales call, and my clients know I'm giving them loads of context. What the lead actually said before booking the call, because what I'm trying to hand off is what was the motivation of that lead to book this call. Did they leave any clues around why they want to join? Are they looking to buy now? Are they looking to buy in the next 3 months? Do they already use a similar tool and they just want to compare it? You know what I mean? So then when you catch their motivation, you can better prepare the client to say, this lead wants this. That's going to be the context. Like, I don't want my clients to go into meetings and just go, hi, this is my tool. And we actually know what drove the lead in that conversation. So imagine if you can help the sales team start a conversation from the angle that you left the conversation, then, it's a much smoother meeting for them. And they look also very informed. And the lead doesn't feel like, what am I doing here? Didn't we have a conversation before? So that's super important to me. And also some CRM inserts, I think they're very useful when you can actually write notes and, help the team create a pipeline in that way that it's coming from you and they have all the information that they need to safely approach that lead.
Yeah. Do you have any tools that you would recommend? We use Spiky on our team, which integrates directly into HubSpot. So what we'll do is we'll record every call and then it summarizes everything. So it does it automatically. Do you have any tools that you prefer that you would recommend for other people to help facilitate this process?
To be honest with you, it depends on what our clients are using, like with their CRM. We don't necessarily rely on tools when we do the inserts. We can insert like automatically, like we can do like, CSV files and everything, like batches from what we contact so that they know they shouldn't contact them or something like that. We obviously have loads of existing client files lists that we run against those before we contact. But we usually we use a manual insert because it gives you more room to add your notes and make sure that you use the right tags as well.
Got it. So do you guys write those directly into the CRM then?
Yeah. We usually do, especially for the leads that turn into demos.
Great. There you go. So I guess, you were mentioning social selling is really, really important these days. Can you just kind of nail down that point a little bit about why social selling is a must-have these days?
Yeah, so as I said to you, it really depends on what your goals are as a company. If you validated your product and you want to scale and you know exactly where you want to get to, I think you should literally look at outsourcing this type of service to a team that can work in like alongside your sales team, because this is what we are. We are an extension of your sales team, right? So all of the time that is spent by your team prospecting, looking for leads, or calling, it's actually spent by us doing the initial heavy lifting, and all they have to do is like show up on a call. So I think it's important these days because I don't really think people are paying too much attention on ads unless it's B2C. Unless it's something that they need for I don't know, to join an event, buy some tickets, things like that. But when it comes to truly getting in front of your decision maker, from my point of view, it's not necessarily like I think it's the quickest. I think it's the quickest way. If you know what you're talking about, if you know how to do your research, and if you want to scale, I think going through this like social selling is a no-brainer, because it's the easiest traditional, I would say, because everyone is using LinkedIn, everyone is using WhatsApp, everyone is using their email. Depending on where your ICP is, that's how you choose your channel. So in my opinion, the more natural you are in your approach to those leads, the more responses you're going to get. So there's no need to throw money at different platforms to just see, oh, how many people signed up today, or how many people decided to book a call with me today. So yeah, it can work, but I don't think it works as good and as fast.
Yep. So I guess what platforms are you seeing that are driving the most pipeline today for your clients? I know some channels are going to be more preferred depending on the client, but I guess, what are recommendations at a high level for a typical SaaS company?
So it very much depends on who you target, right? So before launching any outreach, figure out where your prospects actually spend their time. Are they active on LinkedIn? Engaging with content? Are they posting on LinkedIn as well? There's a way in Sales Navigator to see if they're posting, if they're active. Are those type of leads people that check their emails more often? Or in some markets, are they more responsive on WhatsApp? For example, CFO, he's gonna leave in his inbox on email, right? A startup founder may respond faster on LinkedIn. In some industry, WhatsApp is the primary business channel. So I would say don't waste great copy, and again, talking about the pain points, on the wrong channel. So my advice is always to match the message to where your leads are paying attention.
Yep. So I guess what are some of the biggest mistakes that founders make when they're doing typical like social or LinkedIn outreach?
I think number one would be they don't segment their audience well enough. They
Same
run into sorry.
Same message to everybody.
Yeah, they run into the pitch straight away. I'm still surprised that in 2026 this still happens, but hey, they send the same message on all platforms. I get it. You want to be on email, you got to be on LinkedIn, you want to be on whatever. But I think, each platform has different needs. On email, you can send a lengthy email. You can, mention a case study. You can have a PS. But on LinkedIn, there's no need to have a, 4-paragraph message. No one is going to read that. So again, what we're trying to do and what we're doing so successfully is getting people to respond to a message, right? So the way you do that, you adapt your copy and your approach to the right channel.
Yep. And probably like a simple, straightforward question just to get an easy response. And then you can go into the sales part of the process after that.
Yeah, exactly. So what you're trying to do, and this is something that we're doing as well. We're starting with an open question. to drive a conversation. And then obviously that open question is made in relation to what solution we're selling. So then, it's up to the leader, they will respond to you, or then, naturally you will sell, is this worth a 10-minute conversation? And they wouldn't feel like you pitch slap them,
Yep. Yeah, I get quite a few of those in my inbox every day on LinkedIn where people are sending the 4-paragraph messages, which I definitely don't read.
Yeah, so that's the thing, right? Like people say, oh, I hate them. I hate being approached on LinkedIn. Yeah, I understand. But at the same time, we all signed up on LinkedIn knowing that we're going to get sold to, we're going to sell to. It's a business platform. Get used to it. I get us. But also, when it comes to other people, let's try and, define our messages a bit further and not like pit slap everybody that we have on the network.
I don't think it's the what, as in, people are trying to sell me there, which I totally expect as well. It's how they do it too, right? I think that's the most off-putting.
Yeah, exactly. So not even waiting to like engage with you, and you can actually tell, I will just add it in this sequence by whoever. I will just add it to this list just because I'm like well connected and I run the show. So
yeah, I get that too. I'm like looking at these messages and I'm like, here's this guy talking to himself.
You know what I'm getting all the time is that everyone thinks like you're constantly expanding. Yes, we're constantly looking for talent, but it's like those recruitment agencies from all over the world trying to say like, hey, we can send you this. It's like, you don't even know if I'm hiring or not. Like, I think honestly, if any recruitment agency is looking right now, change your email, like change your copy to, hi, are you hiring right now? And I promise you, your response rate will go through the roof. It will either be a yes or a no.
Yeah.
Like if you send me a 4-paragraph of saying, why should I hire through you? Like you already lost me.
Yeah, but then you could segment accordingly too. So, hey, exactly. I have a bunch of yes conversations and they're engaged.
Exactly.
I could probably put somewhere.
Exactly. So yeah, just treat LinkedIn as your, I don't know, WhatsApp inbox from now on.
There you go. So what's a growth lesson that you learned the hard way yourself that most other founders can underestimate or possibly make themselves?
So I would really relate your question to say like running outreach. I would say the power of research. The more you dig into your ICP decision makers, the more you find those personal, contacts, you build the right lists, and then the more you tap into their pain points, the better response rates. And also another thing is don't try and like overcomplicate messages. Keep them simple, keep them to the point, quite short. And also think about, if I would send this message to a friend, how would he engage? How would he respond? And also another thing that it's also always on my mind when I write copy is this gonna make them stop and engage with what I'm saying? So I think these 3 things combined, you learn through trial and error. So that will be my advice, really.
Well, that's a really efficient takeaway. So I guess what are some talking about efficiency too? I guess what are 3 key benefits I guess people should expect when working with Amplify Growth, and why should they give you guys a call today to pick up your services?
Yeah, nice question. I now need to talk about us, but I am proudly because the main one. Sorry.
Oh, that's why we're here.
Well, the main one would be, we give you qualified meetings without you lifting a finger. Another one is a very, I would say, underestimated skill, but that is of work discipline. Our team has an incredible work ethic. And the last one will be that we keep you informed, and the communication is outstanding. As I said, we go the extra mile with the inserts on your CRM, and we treat everybody as a very important client. You're not just another customer on the list.
Great. And where can they learn more about your company?
amplifygrowth.com or on our LinkedIn page or on my LinkedIn page. I post, my learnings from doing outbound, I also post about content marketing. And yeah, that's the easiest way to connect with us, really.
That's great to hear. Well, Andrada, we appreciate you coming on today and giving all these great tips. And look forward to growing the partnership together with you.
Likewise. Speak soon.
Take care.
Bye.